Hello everyone and welcome to this fine edition of TYT Sports. Now we only have two stories for you guys today, among many others of course in our inventory, but first let's start with Chris Johnson. Now he was released this past month, I believe on April 4th by the Tennessee Titans. He is one of only a few players in NFL history to rush for over 1,000 yards in each of their first 6 seasons in the National Football League. That should not be undermined. That should not be understated. Now, granted, he has gone from Vince Young to Jake Locker to Matt Hasselbeck to a few others who have filled in the void. What's my man's name who went to Harvard, played for the Bills? I'm blanking on his name. Anyways, I pay a lot of his success to the fact that they had Vince Young at quarterback. Now, is Matt Hasselbeck a running threat? No. Is Jake Locker a running threat? Sometimes, not so much. Vince Young definitely aided that cause, but even with the criticism that has come down now, look, Bill Barnwell, as we discussed a while ago on this very medium, the running back position is a slowly dying breed. You can go and get Alfred Morris in the 6th round, and he could possibly, potentially, turn into your starting franchise running back for 4 years. 3 years. I mean, the life expectancy of running backs in this league are very short. But Chris Johnson can still potentially be at the top of his game, and maybe the one thing he needs is a change in scenery. Now, that one team could potentially be the New York Jets. Now, they were a very fine rushing team last year with the combination of Bilal Powell and Chris Ivory, and Ivory had some career best numbers. Meanwhile, Chris Johnson had some career worst numbers. Yes, he just surpassed the 1,000-yard rushing mark, but the yards per rush were down. I believe it was less than 3.9, 1,077 yards, 3.9 yards per carry, a career low with 6 touchdowns, also 345 receiving yards with 42 catches. They brought in Michael Vick. They still have Geno Smith. Yes, they added Eric Decker, which I believe is fine. I don't know if Decker is worth the money, but we shall see, certainly. He was certainly aided by having one of the best regular season quarterbacks of all time in Peyton Manning, Demaryius Thomas, Julius Thomas, no Sean Moreno. I mean, do we really have to go on? But would this be the right move for player and for club? Me personally, I say yes, because look, their rushing totals were solid. And granted, a lot of those rushing totals go into Geno Smith. So if you do start Michael Vick, which I personally believe that they should for at least the first few games and just see how he does turnovers-wise. And granted, we don't know the schedule yet, so we'll wait to see about that as well. And he could possibly mentor Geno Smith to become a better quarterback. Why wouldn't it make sense to have the one home run player on offense be a guy who can go out of the backfield and you could also line up in the slot? A mismatch all around if you do line him up in the slot against a linebacker, depending on if that team is playing a dime or a nickel package defense. But whatever, what have you. That's all hypotheticals. Sign him. And also, obviously, the variable, depending on how much he will make. I believe the Jets will come down in price to possibly sign Chris Johnson. This is a weapon that they absolutely need. Rushing totals, good last year. Defensive totals, good last year, though they probably need another outside linebacker that they will build through the draft. The one point of emphasis that the Jets need to expand as much as possible is points per game. I believe they rank 29th, in points per game with 18.1 points per game. They have $26 million in salary cap room. They need another wide receiver, in my opinion. A burner would certainly help, and another outside linebacker, which I believe would certainly help. One of the ways that they could absolutely aid their cause and compete, maybe, with the Tampa Bay, with the New England Patriots, and I believe that they will beat out the Bills. If they sign Chris Johnson, and ego aside, I believe that they could potentially beat out the Dolphins too. But why can't they make a run at Chris Johnson, have that one explosive offensive player that they have not had in a long time, and compete with the Patriots? Let me hear your thoughts. Hit them up in the comments section below. Hit the like button. Subscribe to TYT Sports. I'll see you soon.